又是一期会被仙女攻击的视频。
Today, I'm bringing you a topic that might stir some fairy dissatisfaction. I hope all the fairies won't rush to criticize because this is indeed a very realistic and harsh trend. Whether we accept it or not, this is an unavoidable fact in our current society. In the next 10 years, the dating and marriage prospects in China may become increasingly challenging for women from ordinary family backgrounds with average incomes. I genuinely hope that the women who still have a chance to find a good match will cherish the opportunities before them, avoid getting lost in fantasies, and stop expecting the next one to be better. Today, let's talk about why I say the future will become harsher, and I hope everyone will listen and see if there's some truth in it. In recent years, with the rapid development of China's economy, substantial capital has flooded the market, and women's rights have reached new heights, with the feminist movement surging forward. Consequently, many women have enjoyed the benefits of the female era. Even some women with modest incomes have quite a few simps and backups around them. These women, who only make a few thousand yuan a month, are gradually losing a clear understanding of themselves, feeling elevated by all the attention and even thinking that men who earn tens of thousands of yuan a month are unworthy of them. However, as China's overall economic situation takes a sharp turn downward, making money is getting harder, and men are gradually waking up and no longer spending lavishly to foot the bill for women. This has led to the collapse of the simp economy. When capital stops generating profits, it abandons women, and men are no longer blindly investing their feelings and money. More and more men are choosing not to date, not to marry, and instead, spending their money on themselves. This trend also weakens the traditional constraints of continuing the family line, and more men are opting for independent lives, enjoying the freedom of self-management. In the current context of a continuously declining economy, workplace support for women is also decreasing, and the unemployment rate for many women is rising. Especially for women with low incomes, once they lose financial support from men, they may face greater survival pressure and might even turn to nightclubs, foot massage parlors, or massage services for a living. For men, after no longer being a simp or backup, they can enjoy life more, and with financial capacity, spend a little money to experience better entertainment options. This phenomenon is already appearing around us. What will the future look like? Perhaps we can look at neighboring societies in Japan and South Korea for some answers.
舔狗经济今年一定会崩塌，捞女以后呢会越来越难混。
The collapse of the simp economy seems inevitable, and the future survival space for gold diggers will only grow more challenging. From Awakening Sister interviewed at a Jiangxi matchmaking event, to the viral fat cat incident over the May Day holiday, to the explosive bride, whose wedding ended in chaos after demanding a 28,800 yuan exit gift, these events have surged one after another. Recently, a female streamer bluntly stated in a live broadcast that men earning 3,000 yuan a month are simply incompetent. Think about it. If a male streamer making over 10,000 a month said the same about a woman earning 3,000, calling her incompetent and saying she'd struggle to buy a good phone, would he still get so much support? A salary of 3,000 yuan is indeed low, but that's no reason to publicly shame someone in a live stream. Who decided that a woman earning 3,000 yuan a month deserves a boyfriend earning over 10,000? And who decided that a woman with a monthly income over 10,000 must find a boyfriend earning 20,000 or even 50,000? Furthermore, where is the rule that says a man shorter than 1.75 meters is third-degree disabled? All these signs make me suspect someone is plotting behind the scenes, using these incidents to shatter the last illusions of Chinese men. It's foreseeable that these continuous incidents will eventually become the last straw that breaks the camel's back. So what truly is gender equality? When it comes to housework, we talk about equality. Yet when it's about bride price, equality is suddenly forgotten. Nobody mentions equality when it's time to pay for dinner, and no one skips a single yuan of the feudal bride price. However, now housework must be shared equally, and there's even the distinct idea of husband's income submission. Amid such opposing dynamics between men and women in China, where does the real issue lie? China's gender imbalance. Is this really a reason for women to assume dominance? I just want to speak impartially, not favoring either side. In other countries, it's often women calling for gender equality, yet in China, it's the men pursuing equality. Outside some remote areas, Chinese women's status is already among the highest in the world. Just look at societal trends over the years. various housing, car demands, bride price, gifts on 520. It's like a mountain pressing on Chinese men's shoulders, only to be told, Chinese men aren't worthy of Chinese women. Why are simp products like roses, lipstick, and cosmetics harder to sell nowadays? Because people are waking up, realizing that spending this money is just a way of inviting a goddess home. Why not instead buy something nice for our parents or invest in ourselves? A friend of mine was once deeply caught up in a relationship, living on a 1,000 yuan monthly allowance, 800 yuan of which he gave to his girlfriend. Now he's woken up and invested in himself, moving from waiting tables with a 3,800 yuan monthly salary to becoming a BMW owner today. Don't spend money recklessly on women, brothers. If you want to change your life, come talk to me. Why don't young people want to get married today? This may sound harsh, but in some ways the problem lies more with women. Think about it. Why are some girls earning 3,500 yuan monthly but still traveling buying luxury skincare? Is there someone like this in your social circle? Someone who spends all year playing almost as if she doesn't work at all? Why are they so lacking in savings awareness? It's because they believe they won't need to pay after marriage, and there's still the bride price to receive. You think a guy is stingy because he doesn't love you, but have you considered that he might just be saving up to marry you? A family needs at least one person with sense, right? Or perhaps you never really intended to marry him. Why could the previous generation support each other through love for a lifetime, but for our generation, dating feels like a transaction? What I'm saying today may stir controversy, but I'm not twisting any facts. Don't keep walking further down the wrong path of distorted relationship values.
开花店已经有5个年头了，这个七夕情人节呢是史上最惨、业绩最差的一个节日。
I've been running my flower shop for 5 years now, and this year's Valentine's Day was, without a doubt, the worst I've ever experienced. The low sales performance was truly heartbreaking. Looking at it from 3 perspectives, none of them turned out satisfactory. Firstly, there was an excessive amount of leftover flowers in stock. Of the flowers I prepared, only 1/3 was used, leaving the other 2/3 piled up in storage. It was almost as if this Valentine's Day, I earned a room full of flowers that I simply couldn't sell. Secondly, the number of customers visiting the store was pitifully low. In an entire day, only 2 customers stepped into the store, and they just dropped by casually without the usual festive atmosphere. Lastly, the sales volume was also dismal. Throughout the holiday, I only managed to make 40 bouquets, yet only 30 were sold in the end. Now, I still have a considerable amount of flowers left in the cold storage, and looking at them leaves me speechless. Yesterday, a friend in the same business even sent me a message, jokingly asking if I secretly diverted my customers elsewhere. But it turned out she was having the same slow day, with not a single customer in her store. It's really something to sigh about. Although I kept comforting myself, thinking the overall revenue wasn't that bad thanks to 2 large hotel orders later on, the truth is, selling just 30 bouquets on such an important Valentine's Day was far below my expectations. This situation leaves a bitter taste in my heart, and I can't stop reflecting on it, wondering how I should adjust my business strategy in the future to turn things around.
今年七夕什么礼物卖的最好？3秒钟猜一下。
This year's Valentine's Day had a surprising bestseller. Can you guess in 3 seconds? A 29.9 yuan diamond ring sold out completely. This phenomenon is truly thought-provoking. Have you noticed? This year's Valentine's Day indeed feels somewhat unusual. 2 notable trends emerged this year. On one hand, simps finally seem to have toughened up, no longer giving or pleasing unconditionally. On the other hand, even couples planning to get married didn't join the Valentine's Day festivities, with many abandoning the idea of marriage altogether. In a certain area in Sichuan, the Civil Affairs Bureau even held a live stream for marriage registration on Valentine's Day, only to find not a single couple showed up all morning. With no other choice, the staff had to shift the live stream content to showcase the city's scenery. This Valentine's Day left both merchants and the Civil Affairs Bureau in a daze, especially the businesses that had gone all in on promotions before the holiday. One guy joked that if he gave a 500 yuan gift, he'd be labeled a simp, but if he spent that same 500 yuan on treating his buddies to food and drinks, he'd be hailed as the man. Nowadays, young people are no longer willing to play the simp role. Instead, they're focused on saving money. No chasing, no pleasing, just building up savings. Many have even reached their goal of buying a car in full cash, and now they can order several dishes at a meal without worrying about the cost. In contrast, they remember a time when they couldn't even bring themselves to buy a computer, but now they can buy whatever they like without hesitation. Reflecting on Valentine's Day 3 years ago, the comment sections on gift guides were filled with a peaceful, sweet vibe. But this year, it's a completely different scene, with a tense tone of, "Who are you to define me?" Merchants still stuck to traditional advertising tricks before Valentine's Day, reminding men to buy gifts for women, and sensible men were indeed buying these recommended gifts. However, the tone of the comments this year was entirely different, with users questioning, why is it always men giving gifts to women? Why can't women give gifts to men? Some even joked that spending money on the best equipment in a game would be way better. Now that would really be satisfying. Forget about gift giving. So, what was the most popular Valentine's Day gift this year? The answer turned out to be a 29.9 yuan moissanite ring, which not only sold out but also came with a love agreement, a jewelry authentication certificate, and a beautiful box. Quite unexpected. This left those who used to call diamonds a consumer scam with nothing to say, and even the capitalists didn't foresee such a viral success. As for why it was so popular, one friend inadvertently revealed the truth. On Qixi Festival night, he went through over 20 trash bins in Shanghai and only found 2 discarded flowers. In reality, behind the resilience of the simps lies the emptiness of their wallets. Those who once thought of zeroing out the distance between themselves and their dream girl ended up zeroing out their own wallets. Even a capitalist didn't see it coming. This Valentine's Day, young people were surprisingly clear-headed. Today, China's youth have a new understanding of love and marriage. They kneel reverently in front of the god of wealth's temple, but completely ignore the temple of matchmaking. How can romance compare to the sweetness of making money? Instead of splurging to win a smile from a beauty, they'd rather save up for a pair of Air Jordans or a GeForce 4090 graphics card. Now that's real satisfaction.
舔狗经济时代好像结束了，但是下一个时代很有可能发展成女性舔狗时代。
I have a feeling that the era of male simps in the economy seems to be gradually coming to an end, and the next era might evolve into a time where female simps take the stage. I am beginning to notice that many men no longer feel ashamed of relying on wealthy women, or of using their youth, attractiveness, and emotional value to gain financial support from women. Some men even feel proud of it. Meanwhile, more and more women are also becoming less reluctant to spend money on men, and with the continuous growth of women's financial power, this trend is becoming increasingly obvious. Take freeloading off a woman, for example. Nowadays, what we often see is soft freeloading done with a hard edge. For instance, if a man finds a girlfriend with good financial standing, he usually explains that it's because she treats him well, is gentle, considerate, and shares similar values with him, often feeling embarrassed to admit directly that it's because of her wealth. We call this situation soft freeloading done with a hard edge. However, in the future, it's likely that a new trend will emerge, where men will no longer be ashamed to admit that their choice of a partner with strong financial resources is driven by economic considerations. They will openly say that it was precisely because of the woman's economic status that they decided to be together, even feeling that there's no shame in liking outstanding women. By then, there might even be a batch of accounts dedicated to teaching men how to get along with wealthy women, instructing them on how to pursue affluent women. If this trend develops further, it's possible that people will start to criticize this kind of economic dependency mindset, much like the current criticism of the male simp economy. We could say that we are witnessing an era where the male simp economy is receiving negative reviews, while the female simp economy is just beginning to sprout. The wheels of history always turn in cycles, and the future social atmosphere may continue to evolve along this trend.
This Valentine's Day, flower shops reportedly experienced unusually low sales. How did everyone's Valentine's Day sales go? Were all the flowers sold? Let me start by sharing my own experience and a recap of this Valentine's Day. Our planning was relatively conservative, with only about 70% of last Valentine's Day's order volume prepared, around 300 orders worth of flowers and labor. But the actual sales were only around 200 orders. After talking with a few seasoned flower shop owners, with over 10 years of experience, we all agreed that this Valentine's Day might have been one of the lowest in sales in over a decade. The holiday sales of flower shops are affected by various factors. Timing, location, and people all play crucial roles. The main reasons for this downturn in business are primarily due to several factors. First, the overall economic environment, with the economy in a downward trend, has led consumers to become more conservative in their spending. With a challenging job market and unstable incomes, many young people are more cautious about holiday spending. Additionally, more men are becoming conscious of their spending and are less willing to spend too much on women, which has also reduced demand. Furthermore, there's an imbalance in the supply and demand in the floral industry, with supply exceeding demand, leading to intensified price wars and generally lower flower prices in the market. Meanwhile, the rise of major e-commerce platforms and popular live streaming channels has diverted traffic, weakening the competitiveness of traditional flower shops. It is generally believed that the simp economy seems to be collapsing during this Valentine's Day, making flower shop business even more difficult.
On Valentine's Day, when the simps bid farewell with tears, did you also notice that this Valentine's Day felt especially different? It seems that the once popular simp economy is collapsing. In previous Valentine's Days, simply opening a social platform would flood you with gift recommendations. Phrases like, "It's Valentine's Day, buy gifts to make your girlfriend happy," were everywhere. However, this year, things have changed. Every time posts encouraging gift-giving appear, the comment section is filled with guys uniformly responding, "If I have money, why not spend it on myself? Isn't that better?" Such voices are everywhere. One guy jokes, "Spending 50 yuan on cigarettes makes me feel classy, but spending 50 yuan on a gift makes me feel ashamed in front of a girl." Some even say that if they were to spend 5,000 yuan on a gift for someone, they'd likely just end up being labeled a dead simp. But if they used that 5,000 yuan to treat their brothers to food and drinks, the happiness shared among friends would be the most genuine. It could be said that various holidays often become feasts for businesses, but in reality, they test men's wallets. Yet now, consumption habits are gradually shifting. Rather than spending money to please others, it's better to spend it on oneself. According to a survey by a domestic e-commerce platform, while women indeed dominated online spending in the past, the she economy once outperformed the he economy. But over the past year, this landscape has changed noticeably, with men's purchasing power rising rapidly. From the data, the proportion of male users with online spending exceeding 1,000 yuan has significantly increased, approaching 70%. Notably, even in traditionally female-dominated spending areas like clothing and accessories, the growth rate of men's consumption has far outpaced women's. Not to mention the marked increase in men spending on cars, electronics, and phones. There used to be a joke that said, in a family, the spending order is roughly women, children, dogs, men. But this joke no longer seems to apply. Now, men with money spend it on themselves has become the new slogan. And under the phenomenon of the collapse of the simp economy, the cries of older single women and gold diggers are the loudest. How do you view the phenomenon of the collapse of the simp economy? Feel free to leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support is very important to us. We will continue to bring you even better content. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.